Weather impacts all aspects of our lives, from our morning commute, the clothes we wear, our mood, and even our food. I'm here at Double Bayou Crawfish Company in Anahuac, Texas, and today we break down how the weather impacts, you've guessed it, crawfish season. Kirk McDonald with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department states that a crawfish's metabolic system is closely tied with temperature. They move to deeper waters to stay warm during the winter. This is why we have smaller crawfish at the beginning of the season, like February, versus March or April. To quite literally show me the ropes of commercial harvesting, I spent the day with Garrett Mercantile, a longtime harvester on a family-owned farm in Anahuac. Precipitation and temperature both play a role in the growth cycle of a crawfish, but which one has the bigger influence?
Oh yeah!
You got to have the water to have the crawfish to get them out of the burrows, but the temperature is the biggest factor, especially in the early season, on the growth for the potential crop that you have of the crawfish.
It takes about 3 to 5 months in good thermal conditions to reach maturity.
And later in the summer months, when the water's getting lower because the sun is evaporating, the dissolved oxygen can potentially hurt the crawfish as well. So we keep exchanging water every couple of weeks and keeping the depth good and try to circulate the water to keep the oxygen content high.
Key takeaways from weather's effects on crawfish. To get a good yield, it's preferred to have a milder February and enough rainfall in the late summer so that the mud is soft enough for the crawfish to get out of their burrows. But heavy rain received too early in the summer could trick the crawfish into leaving their burrows for the ponds too early, where they could lack vital oxygen due to decaying plants in the Texas heat. Business can be risky if you're waiting on Mother Nature to provide the right conditions, but at Double Bayou, there's a system in place that allows for the variance of water received by the ponds to be controlled.
Here we don't depend on the rain. We have irrigation canals, and the water is sent to us through the canals, and we let it in through a series of gates, and the ponds are set up so that it floods them individually, and then we can control the depth however we need.
Now let's get into exactly how we catch these critters. Rice is planted in these fields, and farmers place these pyramid traps in rows.
They go in after that bait, which is that fish you see there, through these holes on the side.
The activity level of crawfish determines the amount of time traps are left out before they are checked.
Yeah, these are the crawfish sacks. They hold 30 to 35 pounds. They fit on this table right here, and the crawfish, you just kind of rake them in it, and then when you get them full, you stack them up on the front of the boat.
How many people do you think will eat off of a sack of crawfish?
About 4 pounds per person. So, I mean, if you're cooking all the sides, the potatoes, corn, and everything, you can feed 10 people, no problem. Around here, you can probably feed 3 or 4 people.
All right, here's a good little look at today's catch. I think we did a good job. So you got a pretty sweet setup out here. Your own crawfish farm, unlimited crawfish that you can be eating throughout the season. But what would you say are some of the drawbacks of your job?
The weather. Every day is different. The weather impacts us tremendously. You know, it was 80 degrees last week and it's 40 degrees this week, and we're looking at potential snow next week. It's going to affect the market price big time. The price is probably going to go up next week, which is good for us, but the catch is going to go down. Other than that, the otters are a huge drawback. They'll come in and just annihilate us overnight. They'll turn over 300 traps and eat the crawfish.
So what would you say is your favorite part about your job, your absolute favorite thing?
Eating the crawfish.
Eating the crawfish. I would have to agree with you. That's pretty great.
The best thing about it is it brings my family together, you know. At first it was just me out here working, and then little by little, they started to see what it was turning into, and they really all jumped on board, from my brothers, my mother, my dad. And now I mean, my cousin's living here now. He just graduated high school. He's helping out. Just bringing the family together and eating crawfish a couple times a week all throughout the year is the best part of the whole job.
Family. Now that's what it's all about. Now, I know I look forward to enjoying some crawfish this weekend myself. Also, I'll be sure to get back in touch with Garrett to see how the winter storm impacted this year's season. For more information, you can always visit CW39.com. Hannah, over to you.
All right, Kerrigan, next story needs to be how to actually eat crawfish appropriately, because I'm sure there are a lot of people in this studio right now, right here, that don't know how. But that was so fascinating to listen to, and I am curious how they fared during the winter storm.